What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I am T. I am your host, hanging out behind the camera. We're underneath my duster. And you see a bunch of crank and rod parts. Well, I should say not parts. An assembly, a crankshaft, connecting rods, all sorts of fun stuff up here. Why do you see these things? It's like, T, you just got that motor in that car. You've already had to take the pan off of it? Well, I didn't have to, but it's something I wanted to do. This pan that's been on this car, or engine, since 1943, is in pretty rough shape. Mostly that corner. I don't remember if this is the one that I gutter checked years ago when this engine was in the Charger. It might have been the other pan. I think it was. But this one's not really that much better. In any case, I was going through a little dip in my neighborhood. And apparently I hit it a little faster than I should have. And apparently the pan hung a little bit low in that car. And it whacked it pretty good. I had to straighten things out. So it might be that one, because that one's got some weld marks on it too. Like I tried to repair it. Well, with time and age, that thing's been getting a little bit worse and it starts to drip. There's a couple of pinholes in it and it was just becoming a nuisance. So we're switching it off. And while I'm in here, just wanted to look, see how this thing felt. Make sure we didn't have any weirdness going on in there. And it does not appear we do, so that's good. And I found a smoking deal on Marketplace. Of course, that's where all the good deals are had these days. This is a new, never used, never mounted Mopar performance pan, I was told. Looks identical to the Moroso that was on it. Similar baffles. Well, let's double check that. Very, very, very identical baffling. If you don't believe me, let's set them side by side here. Bada a bing, a bada boom. Whoever was making these pans made them for everybody that wanted to put a name on it. Well, the new pretty pan is on and bolted up. Windage tray sandwiched between a couple of gaskets. And we're bolted in. All right, we're mostly back topside again. I've got a couple of things I got to deal with. I did find water dripping under this thing the day after I brought it back home from Junction. There is a leak in that radiator, and it's somewhere down low in one of those last couple of sections. So we got to figure that out. I'm going to drain it and pull it and mess around with it, see what I can figure out. I've also got to dump some oil back in this thing. And I've got some header gaskets to deal with. This one's the lesser of the two. Looks like that second to last bolt backed out a little bit. Probably a good likelihood of what caused that gasket to really give up. But it's pretty blown out. Should be pretty obvious as to why it was so noisy. Throwing some gaskets at it. Well, the new oil pan is in, tightened down, drain plug in. Apparently I didn't tighten it enough because I put some oil in it and it sat overnight and well, actually a few nights now at this point, and it dripped on my floor. Oh no. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah. This floor has been dripped on at least once before. So yeah, no worries. While we're under here, anybody want to take a look at this Hack N Pinion? I've been meaning to do a little focal point on this. Probably not a whole video, maybe. So the nature of this beast starts off with a reversal of the ball joint, the lower ball joint that is. On a factory unit, this ball joint is on the passenger side. Passenger side goes to the driver. That changes this attachment point to allow for a front-mounted rack. Now this setup is basically kind of home-built out of some parts. And of course I put a new rack in this, but this is a, now I can't remember, but this rack is either Mustang 2 or 79 and up, whatever, Fox chassis Mustang. It took me forever to find one that matched. It was one of those two for sure. But he had to build his own little mounting scenario here. So we brought in some tubing, welded that up into the frame. You can see right here is the original front K-member mount bolt hole. So I guess if I ever needed to, I could always try and remove all this crap and put a K-frame, factory K-frame back in it. Well, maybe we'll find out. We've got some more to look at. There is a strut rod. This, assuming it was a custom piece as well, brackets welded to this cross piece here. And it is a heim joint on this end, so it's adjustable. Mirrored on this side. And then the next big thing is finding a way to connect to the factory steering. When I owned this car previously, it did have the entire K-frame. This rack was not in it. It had a manual steer box, but from the box on up was custom. Basically, the factory column came out and an aftermarket unit into the car installed, tied into the roll cage and the dash bar, etc. And I put a removable steering wheel in it. Most of that remains, except this section here past the U-joint had to be added in to attach to the rack. And then you need an attachment point to sturdy the rack at this point. This thing would flop all over the place if it didn't have that support. And then you see back here, let me turn on a light. Wow, much better. And so you see back here, this piece right here is actually remnants of the factory K-frame. There's still a bushing in there. And then there's this attachment piece here that's welded to the frame. That supports the lower control arm bushing on this end to keep it from popping out, flopping out, etc., etc. You can see the attachment bolt on this side. So yeah, all that stuff, that bracketry welded to the frame of the car and to what was left of the K-frame piece. Same on this side. So it would be a little bit of work to put this back to factory. It would be a little work to update this to an aftermarket unit with planned for geometry. But there's the bolt. That unit could come out. My grinder and my plasma cutter would come in handy. We could make quick work of that. That's fine. So yeah, one day I do plan on upgrading this. And you've heard my opinion on these before. It's not great. They will go straight. This car aligned very well. The problem is when you try to turn. This car in a right turn scenario will lock up the steering. And not saying that there's not an issue with these headers too. They have got into the headers and got stuck. But yeah, it will lock up in a hard right. So you can't make a hard right. You can't make a hard left. Basically, this is pulling unequally. So when you try to turn to one point with this shorter rack, basically you've got this line here that's way in front of this line here. So none of this is moving in synchrony. And you get into a turn scenario, it tugs it one way. That's fine, one tire will turn, but the other side will drag, will push. So it's just not an ideal scenario. It works for taking weight off the car. It's a drag car, it just mostly needs to go straight. But yeah, you still got to get to and fro to make your pass. So there's a little quick look at a Hack N Pinion setup. My Dart has something similar, although it must be a little bit slightly better geometrically speaking because it won't lock up. But it still does push, still does pull when you're moving it in a sharper turn. So not ideal. I'm going to lower the car and show you what else we've done up top. I'm very happy with this car, the way it performed in Junction down the airstrip. Yeah, traction was a problem. And yeah, I probably could have done a little bit more monkeying around with the suspension. This is a leaf spring Caltrac car. It's got 9-way adjustable Rancho 9000 shocks in it. All the components in that suspension are from my previous ownership of the car. So they've got some time on it. A shock, I don't know if I'd want a race shock in that long. But here I am, still running it that way. Whatever. Is what it is. We're dialing things in. This car hooked and booked in Vegas. Prep makes a whole lot of difference with this car for sure. I do want to do some of that funny business, no prep stuff with this car down the road. So suspension upgrades in the future for sure. Probably leave it leaf spring cow track for a while, but we'll mess around with shocks. We'll mess around with springs. See what happens. So that radiator is out. This radiator is in. This radiator was one I was going to use in Riley's duster. Daryl, the duster. Sorry, buddy. I had to borrow it. I'm going to try to get the other one repaired. It is aluminum. I would assume that that can happen. But for now, we got this one in. I think this one's a little bit better. It's got a little bit more capacity. And while I was in there, I put the bigger fan. I put a bigger fan on it. So, yeah, it probably sucks a little bit more juice, but it flows a lot more air too. So, we just have to button this radiator up, get some distilled water and pour it in there. And then we can really put this in the trailer and wait for the next event, which hopefully will be coming soon. Once I get this thing in the trailer, I'll probably bring Daryl the duster over to this side of the garage so we can get a little bit crazy with that. And then I'll have some room over on that side to dig in and find out what's wrong with the 500. We'll get there. Got to work around the day job and life. So what are you going to do? The big thing from Junction, y'all remember the exhaust leak. This bolt right here, I found loose. And you couldn't tell this much that it was this bad. You could see this side. But yeah, it blew the crap out of this cylinder, number 7. Lesson learned, I probably shouldn't have reused this gasket. Here's the passenger side. The front cylinder, number 2. Number 4, also showing signs of deterioration. But this one and this one, definitely the cause of my irritation. You could hear that in all the video towards the end of that event. Go back and listen if you want to hear that. It was fun. But I think before we do put it in the trailer, we'll obviously run it. We're going to run the valves again. It's been just a minute since that's happened. We'll get it filled up with water. We'll get it loaded in the trailer and ready it for the next race. We're close. We should be ready to go. But we now have to find that next event. So we're looking for that. Hopefully we find something soon. Hopefully we can get to something soon. I'm itching to continue where we left off with that semi-final finish in Junction. It was a good time. We'll wrap this one up here, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. If you're a subscriber, thank you very much. If you're not a subscriber, please give that some consideration. I would love to have you on board. See what we do with this duster, which previously was a 500 stroker big block car. And before that, this engine sat in between these frame rails 20 some odd years ago. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's go racing. Thanks for watching, everybody. And we'll see you on the next one.